When there's an ashfall, lock all your doors and windows. I know the authorities and safety experts tell you to close all your doors and windows when there's an ashfall after an eruption, but I'm here to tell you why you should lock them. No. Board them up. Seal them so tight nothing can get in. Because the ash is the least of your worries in a time like this. For context, I live in the Philippines, specifically the Calabarzon region. We recently experienced an eruption and ash rained everywhere within the vicinity of the volcano. It was my first experience of an eruption, and I wasn't too scared about it, since we were too far to feel any of the effects of the volcano, besides the ashfall. So I went back to doing what I normally do, and just played games to sit out the storm. My family was not home, as they were attending a reunion that I elected not to go to, so it was just me, our dogs, and our house help. At about 12 a.m., the ash seemed to stop falling, and I was already getting tired of playing, so I decided to call it a night. Before I could fully fall asleep, however, I felt a big quake that made my windows rattle and shook the ground beneath me. It was an earthquake, likely a result of the ongoing eruption at the Taal Volcano. I jumped out of my bed and ducked for cover beneath the table. Once the shaking had stopped, I crawled out of my hiding spot, debating on whether I should go out or stay behind. I elected to stay behind, as I decided to take my chances on another earthquake happening, not really wanting to wait it out. I jump into bed and doze off. Then I woke up to another earthquake, jumping out of my bed again and staying below my desk. This time, I had to go outside, otherwise the house could fall on my head. But before I started to sprint for the exit, I felt something. Not an earthquake this time, but the sound of a huge thud as if something had landed on our rooftop. I froze and looked out my balcony window for the source of the noise. I checked the portion of the roof that was visible, and there was nothing there. I was just about to go to sleep when I suddenly saw a bloody human hand dangle from the side of the roof that hung over my balcony. I nearly shouted in shock but kept silent because I did not want to give myself away to whatever was on my roof. I heard the grotesque noise of chomping, chewing, and biting, and slowly, the hand that dangled in front of me had been dragged up again. I collapsed behind my bed and hid myself as best I could. I shuddered. What the hell was that? What the fuck is that thing on my roof? I had many more questions, but I realized I was in danger. I paled as I locked all my unlocked windows with open curtains, sneaking from my bed. I slowly moved to close and lock each window. I gently closed each one, before moving on to my last. This was a moment I thanked God that my room had been placed next to a streetlight, because when I ran towards the last window, the streetlight cast a shadow into my room. The shadow of a head that seemed to be peering in. I immediately hugged the wall next to my window, so that whatever thing was peering inside would not see me. I held my breath as I could see the shadow of its clawed hand resting against the window. It was not until I heard another noise that drew its attention that the creature flew off. I quickly closed and locked the window, collapsing on the floor. One of the tensest moments of my life. I checked my watch. It was only 3 a.m. About 3 more hours until proper sunrise. I couldn't sleep knowing that thing was out there. Every now and then, I peered out of the curtains to see if they were still around. I couldn't see them, but every now and then I'd hear that god-awful shriek and the sound of their flapping wings. I just had to survive the night without alerting them to my presence. Easier said than done. At about 4:30, the shrieks were still there, and I've sealed most openings with either some shelves or spare duct tape. I was tired and thought maybe a short nap would be fine. I dozed off for about 30 minutes before a loud beeping shakes me awake. Shit, it was my alarm clock. I always had an alarm at 5 a.m., and it was barely sunrise yet with the ash cloud covering the sunrise. I rushed over to turn off the alarm clock, silencing the tone, but it was too late. And then, I heard those screeches again, as I realized I really was in danger this time. I could hear them landing outside my window, clawing and bashing their way inside while I tried to think fast on what to do. I huddled myself underneath my desk and braced myself for the demons that would eventually get through my window. But the sound of gunshots quickly snaps me out of my panicked state. The demon screamed in pain as I heard what seemed to be automatic fire outside. The creatures quickly abort their attempt on breaking in and immediately fly away, scared off by the gunfire. I sat down, shaken, as I heard the sounds of the gunmen entering into the house. I stood up and came to meet them. It was not our village security team, but I was happy to see them all the same. They refused to explain the situation, but they offered to leave a few men behind to watch over the house while they went off, likely to help other villagers. I gladly obliged, tired and shaken. I let the gunmen do their thing and gladly collapsed into bed, going back to sleep. I woke up at noon, and the gunman seemed to be gone, and my room was suddenly arranged the way it should be. I walked downstairs to see my house help already cleaning up the ash from our driveway. He seemed strangely silent and did not greet me. I prepared lunch for myself and decided to turn on the TV for some news updates on the eruption. I turned it on to find the news giving typical updates regarding the Taal situation, but the story quickly shifted to an incident in Puding Kahoy, the district where my village was located. There was a wave of break-ins that had left 10 people dead and 37 more missing. The police chief of our district gave this statement: "We believe that this is the work of several criminal gangs looking to plunder and steal from residences that were left vulnerable as a result of the volcanic eruption." I saw the pictures of the crime scene and the bodies of the victims of these break-ins. But criminal gangs don't break in to murder and maim people. I knew the truth. Whatever was out there that night, it did this, and I almost became part of its death count. The worst part is they're still out there. Until I see their dead corpses, I'll never leave a single window unlocked. This is Kinetic Symphony. Welcome to the end. Damn, that was too dramatic, wasn't it? Okay, like the video, subscribe, definitely hit the bell icon so you get all of my uploads notified. Well, you're supposed to anyway. And stick around for another 2 seconds and you'll be recommended more videos to watch.